Good morning, friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today is a very fun day here at the Garden Center. It is a Spring Fling Saturday where we are going to have the Power Planter Workshop led by Mr. Greg Newald himself. So we're going to bring you the highlights of that workshop. So we're going to show you that. You get to hear directly from Greg himself. It is a hive of activity here this morning at 7:30, trying to get the Garden Center ready for today because we had a beautiful delivery of shrubs yesterday and the nursery, of course, was open. We were slammed all day, so we didn't have quite enough time to get them all put out. So we're doing that today. We have got the food truck is here, so Will is getting set up to get ready to serve his breakfast and then lunch. So we'll take you over there, let you see all the goodies over there. Wes and Em are here. They are here for the weekend from college. They are getting things set up over there with the perennials. Let me just give you a couple little things. Let me show you what is happening. So everybody is out and about getting things ready. Got some gorgeous roses in that delivery yesterday. This is the Oh So Easy, Easy Peasy. Oh So Easy, Easy Peasy. Is that right? No, Oh So Easy Peasy. There we go. There's a lot of easies and peasies in there. Gorgeous. Of course, we've got the cremas in there. So what we have to do is get everything with the barcode so you know exactly how much it costs. When you check out, makes it a lot easier. So that is down here by the creek bank is where all the shrubs were kind of unloaded, and then Cece is there directing where they go. Also got in, y'all, look at this. This might have to end up behind my ear today. The Jubilation Gardenia from Southern Living. Oh, are they not gorgeous? These are the ones that I added to the new terrace garden. So got those in as well. Those are beautiful. Look at these. I think this is this vine is Asiatic something, jasmine maybe, and it smells delicious. Beautiful white flowers on it. There is not a tag on it, so I can't give you exactly what it is, but it's gorgeous. I love it, and it smells great. And then, so over here, again, everything is just a hive of activity, getting those shrubs out, getting them set and in place. Now, what we are also going to do, because Jerry just took Johnny and went to the house to go load up on some of the Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix, because at the workshop with Greg today, we are putting people to work. Yes, they get to have a hands-on demonstration of what it is like to use those Power Planter augers. And so, because it is a hands-on workshop, we're like, well, you mean you just don't need to be drilling random holes, right? We're working with purpose. And so what we're going to have the folks do is as they drill holes, we're going to have plants laid out for them so they can actually drill and plant here at Creekside in the signature garden. So what we're going to do is this is going to be where we added the up on the hill, right? So this is that new extension that we're doing, that new garden that we're going to be building over the next couple of years. We were just here, we put in the dogwoods and the Japanese maples. So this section right here, that is blank. Jerry's got, like I said, he's coming around here in just a second. He's got to get past those shrubs. We're gonna lay down that Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix. Then we're gonna lay down some Surefire Red begonias and the Mini-Me Chartreuse coleus. So somebody had said, Jenny, on one of the videos, I think it was this video, and they were like, you need to add that Mini-Me Chartreuse. It'll just tie it all in. And I was like, sugar, we're on the same wavelength. We are absolutely doing that. So I've got to, once he gets this Ultra Outdoor in here, we've got to run up to production and grab the Surefire Reds and the Mini-Me Chartreuse. So that way we can have it laid out so that the people won't just be randomly planting plants wherever they want. There'll be a pattern and a design for them to do that. We got some rain last night, this morning. I don't know, I woke up to a massive clap of thunder, and so we got some rain, which is good, but it does make it a little challenging to get in here because now that's a little wet. but we definitely needed some of that rain. But I mean, it is just a hub of activity. So today, like I said, this morning, I am going to take you along for the ride so you can see all the behind the scenes activities, what is happening. You're gonna hear from Greg himself. Yeah, so even if you can't be here today, you will get a feel for what it is like to be here today. So it's gonna be a fun, very busy, very exciting day here at Creekside. We can't wait for you to join us. All right, my friends, so quick little update. Our staff is amazing. All of the shrubs have been put into their new homes. They're barcoded. They are ready to go. Just doing a last minute straightening up. But Will's Dogging It Deli is here with his food truck. So he's serving breakfast all day, lunch all day. So lots of fun. Let me show you what they have for us today. There is like sandwiches and hot dogs and all sorts of fun stuff. So if you're coming, obviously you'd already be here by the time you see this video, but for breakfast, they've got sandwiches and burritos and egg and cheese and bacon, all sorts of fun things. Chicken bacon ranch wrap, Philly cheesesteak, caprese burger, lots of great options for you because, I mean, what goes better with gardening than food? They go hand in hand, right? So this way, there's no excuse for you not to stay long. You can go, oh, I'm hungry. Well, head on over to Will's, get you a bite to eat. So that's going on. Garden center looks so nice and lovely. We did get in with that order delivery. We got in some ferns. People have been asking for ferns. So we got Boston ferns, Kimberly Queen ferns. We've got some cool elephant ears, all sorts of great things with that. So I can take a look at all of those things. And then I snapped a picture of Greg and Jerry there out where the workshop's gonna go, and they were in the stance. They both were sitting there yapping and talking and had their arms folded across their chest. So let's go over there and we'll see what they're up to, show you kind of where the workshop's gonna be, and then the plants that our workshop attendees hopefully will get in the ground for us. All right, so the fellas are over here solving all the world's problems as we wait for the nursery to open. But this is, of course, where we were just here a minute ago. This is where the workshop's going to happen in that new woodland garden that we are creating. This particular spot with the soil doesn't have that true compacted red clay. It's just what is here. It's a little bit more sandy, but what it does have is rocks. Lots of rocks are just naturally in this area, whether they're little small ones or like big ones the size of my head, and then obviously tree roots because the beautiful forest that is here. So Greg, we have the 5-inch, 7-inch, 9-inch, all of those augers are out using that. And then what we're going to be planting, our workshop attendees are going to be planting, are the Surefire Reds and the Mini-Me Chartreuses. So this is great because both of these can do sun or shade. And this little area, while it gets some really good sun till about noon. Now today is cloudy, so we probably won't get any sun today. But then it is in the shade for the rest of the day because the sun sets actually behind the hill. So both of these plants are rated for sun or shade. So it really doesn't matter, honestly, what kind of sun conditions these do get because they can handle it. And the idea is that we are going to go ahead. We've got more plants. We're just going to lay these out for today. Just if they can get these planted, that would be amazing. But we will go ahead and continue it down through. We don't want to put it obviously where Greg's going to be doing the workshop and worrying about stepping on plants. But we're just going to kind of fill this area in. And when the staff and I were standing all the way at the greenhouse, you could already see like these guys popping. And so that's a fun thing about like design wise is because we'll have the mini-me's here, and then we also have them repeated underneath the Midnight Express redbud. So that's on kind of the opposite side of this grassy field. So they're there. And then of course we have them also in the signature garden in those 4 inner beds. So especially when we put the drone up, you will see those same plants repeated throughout the gardens, and it kind of brings that continuity. It ties everything in together. That's not the only plant that is repeated, but that is one of them. And with that bright chartreuse color, it really makes a difference. It really pops out. And I love it because it's the mini-me, so it's nice and short. Lime thyme is a great option if you really want some tall. Lime thyme can get like that in that 3 to 4 foot range, whereas the mini-me chartreuse is going to be more in that 18 inches, 24 inches, that size. So it is great for containers or small spaces, or if you want them in the front of the border as opposed to the back of the border. So we've got some customers starting to roll in. It's 9 o'clock, so the workshop gets started at 10. And yeah, so we're just gonna have a great day here at Creekside. Oh, okay, well I'll talk, how about that? Okay. So Greg, of course, is from Illinois, so the pollen just hit him, and so thankfully we're on. That's right. We're kind of on the downside, and he is on the upswing, so he's struggling a little bit. But of course, we are so glad y'all are here. Welcome. I am Jenny Simpson. Jerry and I, of course, own Creekside Nursery, and today we're going to have fun. If you do not know Greg Newald, which I don't know if anybody does here, but he is an absolute scream. He is the owner of Power Planter Workshop in Illinois. You're a 3rd generation farmer.
I am.
Yes.
I am.
And you're the self-proclaimed most honest person on the planet.
To a fault.
To a fault. So he's going to tell you exactly how it is.
If you want to know, just ask. And if you
Yes.
don't.
Don't ask.
So I'm Greg, all the way from Central Illinois. And Jenny said it, 3rd generation, well actually we're 6th generation corn and soybean farmers. Family farm, 150 some years old. My grandfather started Power Planter in 1988. I was a whopping 6 years old. Basically out of like a need, which sounds really crazy. The need was pretty simple. A guy from the University of Illinois, which has the same school colors as Clemson. It's just a better one than Clemson. So Jerry loves that comment. Came to him and basically said, I have all these annuals and all these beds to plant. I'm tired of using a shovel. My grandfather in 1960s had created a humongous auger, 11 feet to 16 feet, for farmers to move grain and bulk dry fertilizer from point A to point B. So he basically said, hey Wayne, you got augers down. Is there a reason we can't make an auger to do something like this? So Grandpa went to work. Within 6 months, there was Power Planter. He ran that. I went and was a high school ag teacher for 8 years, from 05 to 13, and then I like to say I retired. And the conversation with my grandfather was pretty simple. I said, I think you've got a diamond in the rough and you don't know it. What do you say? And he says, well, your sister is not coming back to the family farm. We farm 2,000 acres, 2,100 acres of corn and beans. He says, your cousin's not coming back to the farm. He says, everybody had kind of silently hoped you would someday come back to the farm. I was like, well, it wasn't really silent ever. So I went back to the farm and had that conversation about the augers, and he said, listen, he said, I'm 80 some years old at that point. He says, run it in the ground for a couple years if you want. He says, make it something if you think it's great. He says, I'm good either way, but if you make it something, you're gonna owe your dad and your aunt and your uncle a lot more money when I die. Kind of an awkward conversation in the living room. But that was basically it. And I don't sit still very well at all. So within 2 years, Power Planter was international into Australia, New Zealand, and a little bit into Europe. 2015, I took over ownership. I don't know, sky's kind of been the limit. I am rarely satisfied with anything, which is just kind of a personal fault of myself. So I am always trying to figure out ways to make anything and everything better. Fast forward way, I don't know, let's say 2020, 21, something in there. I get a call from a guy named Jerry Simpson. I didn't know this guy from a hole in the wall. I'll be totally honest. Jerry on the phone was polite until I pretty much told him I thought he was nuts. Then he sent me some pictures, and I said, well, we got a problem. And I think one thing as a business owner you've got to do is just be honest and say, yeah, we screwed up. And we basically had to redo augers because of a random phone call and email from that guy.
Is it our clay soil?
No, it wasn't your clay soil. It was the steel we were buying was actually basically made wrong for simple terms. So because of Jerry, we basically had to redo the steel we were buying and all that sort of stuff. And from that point on, I've kept in contact with these two. Is everybody here local to this generalized area? No. So I said this to Jerry this morning. I'm not one that really believes in irony at all or coincidences. Like there was a reason that of all people, Jerry Simpson decided to call me that day. And so from that point on, I mean, we're great business friends, but in all seriousness, like we're actually great friends. Like Jerry and I and Jenny, I mean, it'll be a random text or whatever. I mean, I have no problem telling them I think they're nuts, and they have no problem telling me they think I'm nuts, whether it's a personal thing or a business thing or whatever. But I mean, that one email really kicked everything off. So that's that in a nutshell. So auger wise, Jenny and Jerry have maybe the worst soil on the planet. Shovel into hard ground, you're literally just stabbing at it, hoping to do something, right? Well, the auger takes a totally different approach and basically slices it. So if you think about it like a potato or a block of cheese or whatever, you don't sit there and stab your block of cheese to cut it, you literally slice it. And the auger does the exact same thing. So when you guys go home and you sit there and jab your foot or your hand or whatever on that spade or shovel, you're basically doing exactly that. The other thing you're doing is you're actually making the soil worse for their plants, because every time you do that and you wedge back on that thing, now you've created a perfectly smooth angled thing where those roots are going absolutely nowhere easily. Whereas the auger slicing it, I mean, Jerry just buried the auger, but I mean, everything is gonna come up loose just like that because it's gonna eat it up as you go. It solves a ton of problems. It also makes life a lot easier. My own mother has had 6 or 7 back and neck surgeries. She has 5 acres, and I would hate to think what she spends on an annual basis on plants, but there is not a tree, a bed she's made, whatever on that 5 acres that is not beautiful like you've got here. She's semi-retired, so every day it's not raining out, she is out doing something that's probably not needed to redo something that doesn't need redone in a garden. And the only way she can do it is with an auger. You know, the doctor's like, you are not getting down and doing stuff with a shovel, you're not jabbing at it, you can't do it. So any physical ailments and stuff like that, it helps with that as well. Safety-wise, it kills me. Like, watch out for water lines, watch out for underground electric, watch out for, you name it. And the comment is always the same back. You have to do the same thing with a shovel. You know, and frankly, a shovel is probably a little bit worse because you will jab right through a line or whatever before you ever know it. You know, you might not know it until you turn on the irrigation afterwards or whatever. All of a sudden the back porch lights don't work. I don't know. The auger, I have done this plenty of times. My wife and I have 1/2-inch line buried all along our house. And generally, if you hit dead center on that line, it'll normally just sit there and spin like you're on top of a rock. If you hit off to the side of it and you're actually paying attention to what you're doing, you will feel that auger actually dunk, dunk, dunk. And as long as you actually stop and look, it's probably fine. So if you go right into an electric line, you're gonna wind it up really nice. I don't know what's better or worse, winding it up or just slicing through it and never knowing where you slice it. I'd say I'd rather wind it up, at least I know I got it. But no, you should know where that stuff is. I mean, if it's something else, call whatever you have in North Carolina or Julie in Illinois. Make sure you do all those safety precautions. The other thing you need to do, this is a 60-volt drill of fun. So this drill has similar power to like those real loud gas power heads. And those are the ones that scare the living daylights out of everybody. And you'll hear people talk about it. They're like, oh my gosh, that did X, Y, or Z. This has a built-in clutch. So when you hit something, it just stops. If you have a standard like 18, 20 volt drill and you're doing, I don't know, small home stuff, you can use an 18 or 20 volt drill with a 4 or 5 amp hour battery with the Jenny 5-inch auger. Okay? When I say don't use the pancake batteries, I'm talking about those like little skinny ones that are like almost invisible on there. You'll drill like one hole and it'll be dead. People always don't read directions, shocking, men. And they'll say, my auger falls out. Well, if you don't tighten this right, the auger will fall out. So this is an old school drill chuck. And inside here you've got, well, your chuck key's hiding out over here. But it's got 3 holes, all right? You've got to tighten all 3 spots on this chuck. There's one here, and one down there. You got to tighten all 3 spots, and then you have to go back like you're changing tires on your car and tighten them again. Because what happens is you'll tighten this one and it'll make contact and be like, you'll be like, oh, I'm tight. But when that one is tight, these 2 are still pretty loose. So tighten all 3 of them, and what you'll find out is they're all 3 tight. When you go back to number 1, it'll now be a little bit loose. So you got to go around a second time. Otherwise, I can guarantee, 100% promise, it's going to fall out. The other thing on this drill is, and we get this a lot, people are scared. So when you go to use the auger, we were talking about it in the barn actually, pretend you're just like skydiving and go for broke. Like, let's just jump out of the plane and be done with it. So pull the trigger and drill the hole, okay? If you try to be namby-pamby, all right, it's gonna be namby-pamby, okay? The slower you run this drill, the more the clutch does not want to kick in. So if you run this super slow like this because you're scared, or even like this, you're like, oh, I don't know. Like, it's gonna want to twist because it's gonna take more because you're going a slow speed. If you go fast, it'll engage a lot easier. The other thing, we make anchors for an Australian company. You don't want to force this into the ground. It'll take you a couple holes to figure it out, all right? But it'll drill the hole. But if you just sit here and you're like, I'm gonna do the work because you're used to doing that with a shovel, it'll turn into an earth anchor really well, okay? So you got to figure that out. It takes everybody a couple holes. It's like riding your bike, and then you're good. The last thing I will tell you is when you're running the auger, and a lot of people do this too, put your drill in forward. So when you look at the top of this, it looks like it's going backwards, but the bottom is actually going the right way. So right here's your direction. Make sure it's in forward, so the arrow should point down into the ground. Don't ever let off the trigger from the time you dig to the time you come back up. A lot of people will drill the hole and then they'll like use their force and body to lift this up, and then you're bringing all the soil up, which is fine, except why do you want to do all the work? If you leave this thing spin, it's going to do that for you. So let the auger do the work. A lot of people also will drill a hole and then they will stop at the bottom and they'll put the drill in reverse and they'll back it out. And then they're calling, they're like, well, I drilled a hole, but all the soil's still left in the hole. This thing's a piece of junk. I'm like, why did you decide to put the drill in reverse? They're like, how'd you know I did that? Well, because there's only one way the soil stays in the hole. So there's all sorts of that fun stuff. The other thing that Jenny has done on her augers is everything on this thing is replaceable. So it is husband proof, it is wife proof, it is kid proof, it is, so when Mr. U, sorry guys, doesn't follow the directions and he doesn't tighten all 3 spots and he doesn't retighten them and he ruins the hex head on here, you can unpin it and throw it away and break out a $20 bill and get a new hex head and pin it back in, okay? When you go Jenny-like on this and you wear down your heavy-duty tip, I mean, that thing normally would be out to about here. I mean, that thing's got some serious wear. You can just unpin this as well, throw it away, and it's 20 or 30 bucks, drop a new pilot auger in. When you need new blades, because you're going through your nastiness, you just unbolt them, get a pair of ice grips or whatever if the bolts are all smooth, and you can put a new set of blades on. If you actually can accomplish ruining this auger, you could pick up the phone and call me and tell me every naughty thing ever on the face of mankind, send me pictures, and I'll probably give you a prize. I mean, Jenny hasn't ruined this auger in what, 2 years? So, I mean, if you're gonna plant, is this the one that just planted 500 annuals or whatever?
Almost 600, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna go do that, then.
In a day.
Yeah.
What, 3 hours? I haven't replaced them ever, honestly. But because I think for me it's a slow fade. Like I don't realize that they're worn until Greg looks at it and he was like, woman, replace it. You know, so honestly, I haven't, that's still the original.
We sell these blades blunt and flat. These blades are the same thing that is on Jerry's excavator bucket teeth, just smaller. Okay? They come blunt. You do not want to sharpen them. You don't want a lawnmower blade. Leave them, they come like that for a reason. If you're going to try to use your typical at-home cordless drill, do not use a corded one. It has 0.0 safety features. You will rip your arms off and get hurt. I will tell you, this is now how my wife and I actually do our plants. Like we will lay them out and then she'll tell me I couldn't measure and space stuff out correctly, and we'll move it. But we're good here. So if you want to drill a hole, just go and drill the hole. And I'm done. And there's a nice rock in there. Now I will tell you this too, people on Facebook go nuts. You did not kill the plant to do that. Like, the plant is okay. I'm just on a mission to figure out what we got. There's the clutch.
Exciting.
Husband, this is so much better on my back.
You can get something.
I'm trying to understand how, you know, deepness.
That's all you need to do for that guy.
Okay, my friends, so the workshop is officially kind of over, but everybody is testing out the augers hands-on. It is so fun to hear everybody and see their experience, whether they're timid or they just go full bore for it. So this is what is so fun about this, is that they get to really get in there and test out the augers, and they're planting those annuals for me, which I am so appreciative of, and just getting in there and yeah, just having a good time. This soil is rocky and does have some roots, and it is compacted, so it has been a great time here. Hopefully everybody has learned something new and taken away any kind of fear or apprehension about using the drills, the auger, anything that you may have questions about. They got to do hands-on experience and just test it out. It's kind of like a little, before you buy a car, you get to do a test run. So they're going to do a test run and decide if this is a good thing for them in their garden. So I think everybody has enjoyed it and they're going for it. All right, I'm gonna take a shot. Amber's giving it a shot. She's going in.
This will, like, you're like this.
So Amber, do it now and do a little wiggle. Make it bigger.
Even with my big machine, with my big auger, when I'm on it, sometimes it's not biting. I just have to like go out my machine back and forth to get it where I have it installed.
All right, my friends, it is 3 o'clock and the garden center is closed. We've got a couple more customers just wrapping things up. We're busy getting everything watered for the weekend, but man, it has been a fantastic day here at the garden center. It was a crazy day, but crazy in all the best ways. Tons of people got to see so many sweet faces, got to meet some new friends like Pam from Illinois. She gave the best hugs. And then we got to see old friends like the Malones from Pinehurst. So it was great to see all the sweet faces today, both new and I won't say old, but long time of friends. So it was a great day. The workshop was great. Hopefully you have learned some things. Of course, we'll have all of those products are on the website so that you can order them you know, directly from the website, and they will ship to you ASAP. So if you're interested in those power planter augers, whether it's just a single auger or if you want to do the whole bundle, you can absolutely do that. The drill's on there, everything you need I will link in the video description. So if you're interested in those power planter augers, absolutely go ahead and do that. It makes a great Mother's Day present, which is going to be, you know, this coming Sunday. So I'm just saying, go ahead and get Mama that drill. She will definitely love it. But again, another great Saturday here at the nursery. The food truck, oh my word, Will, you did great, my friend. It was delicious. I had the caprese burger, so good. And then a bunch of people, in my peoples, they got the Philly cheesesteak, which was great. And so Mama got a hot dog. There you go. She loves her hot dogs. But it was a great day. So if you're in the area anytime, we would love to see you. Of course, Wednesdays through Saturdays at 9 to 3, we are here. Come walk through the gardens, enjoy. But yeah, we just appreciate you as always. If you have found this fun, informative, or inspirational, please like and subscribe. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week. Y'all have a great day. We're gonna go take cold showers and collapse. See you in the next video. Bye, friends.